It's so nice to be here with you. We're actually going to do something unique that we haven't done in a long time, but we're going to lean back into our chair, and from here, you're going to lift your right knee up and then switch sides. So you're leaning all the way back. It's okay if you have a tucked under pelvis. If your lower back starts to bother you at all, you might slightly untuck, tilt your tailbone down so your lower back moves a little bit farther away from the chair. But as you lift and lower, notice the habit of your body. Does your leg always want to go in, your thigh or your lower leg? And keeping your ankle just about right under your knee and your knee in line with your outer hip as you go side to side. And then just start to tune into your breath. Feel your inhales and exhales. Feel your body. You are definitely going to want your ball today. So whatever you use as a ball, tennis ball, racket ball, and then whatever you use for your calf stretch as well. All right, next time your right leg comes in, you're just going to move your leg a little bit to one side and a little bit to the other side. And if your knee doesn't come up so high, you can hold on underneath your leg. And go slow sometimes. As good as it is to move quickly and to be able to move quickly, moving quickly is very forgiving. So it's a lot easier to sit or ride a bicycle than sit on a still bicycle. Walking quickly is more forgiving of balance, interestingly enough. So sometimes you want to move nice and slow and really feel how it feels around your buttocks, how it feels around your hip. And then let's switch sides. Left knee comes up, or you can hold on to the thigh, and a little motion out to the left and into the right. All right, great way to warm up those tissues around the tops of your thighs and your hips. And then from an upright position, you want to let your pelvis sink back like you're sitting back in a chair or a soft couch, and then activate your feet. Feel like your thigh bones are pulling in to tilt your pelvis upright. Now, if this motion happens very easily for you, especially the upright motion, watch that you don't go forward with your ribs. You actually want ribs to relax down and back, especially if this motion is easy for you. If you tend to thrust your ribs, sometimes you could feel tender areas in your lower back or sacral area. So keep the ribs relaxed down and just move the pelvis. And especially when you're coming upright, activate your legs. You can actually activate your legs as you go back as well. So when you go back, you work the surface layer of your core muscles. When you pull yourself upright without thrusting your ribs forward, you use the deeper core muscles. And so as simple as this is, it's actually a great core exercise, especially if you're keeping your ribs down and back. All right, next time you are in the upright position, ASIS bones over pubic bone, ribs relax down, stretch your arms out, focus on your belly button as you turn to the right. Keep rotating the palms to be flat towards the ceiling and turn to the left. And we'll go to the right and we'll go to the left. And twisting to the right and twisting to the left, and one more each side, reaching out through your upper arm bones. And then come to center. You can use your hands, you can come down to your elbows, you can go farther down, you can drop your head down nice and slowly, Relax the whole back of the spine. And then push down through your feet and nice and slowly come up and extend your legs long with flexed ankles. I need to scoot myself back on my chair a little bit. And same thing, rotate from the pelvis, nice long legs. Maybe the ankles stay flexed as you come forward a little bit. Taking a couple rib breaths into the back and the sides of the rib cage. Sometimes you can tell when you try to do that if you're slightly thrusting your ribs forward. All right, come on up, bend your knees and walk your feet nice and wide. Only walk your feet so wide that you can keep your outer edges of your feet straight. And then notice if the tension of the inner thighs pulls your thighs in, open them up. If your thighs really tend to drop in for a while, maybe work on the outer edges of your feet. That will just help the tissues relax. And then eventually you can keep your foot down and pull your thighs open. But that is going to create some resistance. And if you do that too soon, you could feel pulling on your inner knee or your inner joints. So work with relaxed first, and then over time, open and keeping your feet down. Reach your arms out to the sides, palms up, and bring your pinky fingers together and open out to the sides. Reach out through your upper back and chest muscles as you open and close. And every time you can slightly change the angle. You can go down a little low. You can go up a little higher. One thing to be aware of is when you open, you're not trying to pull your arms back and your shoulder blades together. You're trying to get your shoulders, your upper back, and your chest to be as wide as possible. And so if you go back, what will happen is you will expand your chest, but by pulling back and closing the upper back. So we want both of those to get nice and wide together. And then check on your pelvis. So we're coming into these alignments. We're turning our feet a little straighter. We're maybe bringing our ankles to hip distance sometimes. We're tilting our pelvis upright. Whatever the alignment we're working on, we want to maintain that alignment to the best of our ability, but relax any clenching in that alignment. So you'll hear me just remind you throughout classes over and over, relax clenching. I don't mean relax clenching and let your thighs roll in. I mean with the alignment of your thighs being open, when I go over the alignment, from there can you relax clenching. From there can you relax around your buttocks, relax around the tops of your thighs. Next time your arms out, extend your right leg out to the right. Notice if that thigh bone rolls in, roll it open a little bit, and then circle your arms up and down. Reaching out through the upper back and chest muscles. So I was out of town last week, and one of the things I did while I was on vacation, because I don't always have time to do, was I read a book about the mind and body connection from a doctor, and he had done a lot of research about the mind and body connection, and he was talking about how the body is really miraculous when it comes to healing. Like even the thigh bone, the biggest bone in the body, if it breaks, takes about 6 weeks to heal. So when we have chronic issues going on in our body, it's not usually a structural thing most of the time, even though we tend to think that. We tend to think, oh, I have a slip disc and that's what's creating that pain going down my leg. Even though there's a lot of documentation that shows, let's pause our arms, rebend that right knee, hold, and go in and out with your arms again. There's a lot of documentation that shows that there's a lot of people who show in a scan that they also have a slip disc, but they have no pain. So what's the difference? What's the difference between someone who's experiencing pain and someone who's not? And most often it's a tension pattern. And who knows exactly where those tension patterns come from. I don't know that there's any point in trying to figure it out. It could come from the way you learn to move by watching the people around you. It could come from an injury you had any time in your life that for whatever reason you kept bracing long after the injury. And then definitely emotional things play a part in our tension patterns that often are created unconsciously when we're young. Next time your arms are out to your sides, extend your leg out and check your knee. Does it roll in? Roll your thigh bone open, and let's go up and down with our arms, tuning into your breath. And so that's one of the reasons that throughout class, I'm always talking about check in, like, are you clenching anything? We're working on the alignment, but are your toes clenching for some reason? Are you clenching the top of your thigh right now? Can it relax a little bit? Buttocks muscles, some of the biggest muscles in the body, are you clenching them? Can you relax them? Are you clenching your lower belly? Relax it. So a lot of those chronic issues come from a pattern of clenching that we're unaware of. And so we just want to keep becoming aware of the different parts of our body and trying to relax. And it definitely doesn't happen all at once. It's like a layer, an onion with lots and lots of layers. And it really does take time, but it can happen over time. Okay, bend that knee in, bring your feet in. Let's go ahead and squiggle back and sit back in our chair again. So lots of sitting back today. And then you can either, if your ankle will go over your knee, sometimes it's easier when you're sitting back, or you can use your block like we often do and put it under your foot. But you're still just sitting back, ankle over the knee, let that thigh drop open. By the way, this is a great way to sit. You don't always have to have that upright pelvis, and you can still do some good different things for your hips. Interlace your right pinky finger on the bottom, press away, spread the thumbs away from each other and back towards you. And right now you might just notice, ooh, my inner thigh's clenching, or my outer hip, or my buttocks muscle. Feels like it just won't let go and relax. Do your best to relax it even the tiniest little bit. How about your shoulders? Are they tensing up? Relax them down. And then release your hands. And from here, we're going to activate our left leg and rotate and try to sit up any amount. As we come up, try to relax clenching and roll back. And rotate the pelvis upright without thrusting the ribs if you tend to thrust the ribs. And roll back nice and slowly. And rotate the pelvis upright. And roll back nice and slowly. And rotate upright and hold and twist your belly button to the right. And then just see, without losing the flexion of my ankle, can I relax my toes a little more? Can I relax around the tops of my thighs? And this is not the case across the board, but sometimes what you'll notice is you have clenching patterns you're not aware of. And like people go to work out and they're like trying to get their body balanced and toned. And sometimes those areas that you have trouble toning are the areas that you have a clenching pattern in that's not allowing their muscles to do the work. All right, and release and sit back, uncross, feet closer to straight, ankles hip distance, cross your left ankle over, just let that thigh drop open. Different variety of this, we don't do it very often, but this is a really nice variety for that hip too. Especially if sitting up doesn't allow you to bring your ankle over your knee and leaning back allows you, this is a good place to start. Oh, let's interlace our left pinky finger on the bottom, press away, spread your thumbs away from each other and back towards you. Are you clenching your forearms? Can you still press through your hands but relax your forearms to your shoulders? Is your jaw tight? For me, it's, oh goodness, right around the tops of my thighs and my buttocks. I just have clenching patterns that happen over and over again. So I'm just going to breathe and be patient and try to let them mentally relax a little bit. Okay, release your fingers, rotate your pelvis upright, and slowly roll back until your back maybe comes to the chair. And rotate your pelvis upright. And go ahead and go back. Let's do that 2 more times. Rotate. And going back, tune into your breath and rotate your pelvis upright and hold and twist your belly button to your left and breathe. All right, unwind. You can Go back and slide your ankle off. Sit upright, twist around to your right for your first lunge. Slide your knee back right behind your hip. You can do toes tucked under or top of the foot. In a little while, we're going to do both. So from wherever you are, arm out to the side, flip your hand down so your wrist turns down, and slowly go up. And just keeping your wrist in flexion, we'll put a little more pull on the top of your forearm and slowly go down. Up into the air, wrist tilting down the whole time, and back down. Let's do that a couple more times. Steady the feet. And just so you know, if you're looking, that's okay. But sometimes I notice that people turn towards me. So unturn yourself. Face your front knee. All right, next time your arm is out to your side, keep flipping your wrist down and then flip it up. Spread your thumb out to the side and go up and down here. More people are, this is extension of the wrist, and a lot of people are missing some extension of the wrist. And I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit, but just keep pulling back. It's easy as you go up and down to let that hand go forward. Try to pull back gently a little bit more. And let's do one more of those. All right, and then let your arm relax and turn and look over one shoulder. Just turning the neck, not the torso. Turn and look over the other shoulder. Bring your head back to center. Slowly drop one ear to one shoulder. Notice if the chin leads the way. Slide it back a little bit. And bring your opposite ear to your opposite shoulder. Relaxing, releasing neck around the shoulders, around the chest muscles. Bring your head up, drop your chin to your chest. The chest is one of those areas that a lot of times we don't realize we're clenching because we spend so much time with our arms in front of us. But tune into your chest sometimes. Tune into your upper back. Let it relax. And then bring your head up, slide that leg forward, spin around to the other side into a lunge. We'll start with our wrist turning down as we go up and down. All right, pause and flip, turn that wrist down a little more, and then flip your wrist, spread your thumb out, and we'll go down and up here, and keep extending the wrist. For me in particular, when my hand goes up, my wrist wants to go forward. And we'll just get a little bit more of the underside of the forearm. All right, next time your arm comes by your side, turn your neck all the way one way. Turn your neck all the way the other way, ribs relax down and back. Bring your head back to center, drop one ear to one shoulder. When you have very tight bands of tension, you definitely know you're clenching somewhat. Sometimes it's really hard to let go. Take your head to the other side, but you're just trying to peel back a tiny little layer of that tension. Soften with the breath. Bring your head up and drop your chin down to your chest. So what does that mean for your body? One thing you can experiment with. Let's say that every time you bend over in a certain way or move your body a certain way, you know, oh, this is when some part of my spine, I feel it. It just feels like it's maybe not even painful. It might be painful, but it might just be uncomfortable. Slide that leg forward, spin back around to the front of the chair, and then let's grab our block, and you can just use the floor. You're going to choose two heights. So one could be the floor, and then you could do the block at any height. I think I'm going to do the lowest height of the block and the highest height of the block. You're going to take the block out to the right, extend your leg out there. today we're going to really work on the rotation. So does the thigh roll in? You're going to try to rotate. Make sure it's not just your foot rotating out. Make sure your actual thigh rotates out a little and hinge forward here. You can even use your hand on your thigh to hold it out a little bit. What does that mean for your body? Well, for instance, if you're always bending over, and let's just give an example, in your lower back, you feel sensation there and you're like, that doesn't really feel right. Chances are if you do that over and over again, you're going to know, oh, this is the position I come in and go out of that I feel that tension or I feel that sensation. And unconsciously, you are tensing up your body, perhaps before you go into it and when you're coming out of it. When really what you should try to do, don't start out by doing it. If you're picking up something heavy, go ahead and bring that leg in, take it across, extend your leg across, check the rotation, rotate a little bit to the right and hinge forward right through the center of your body. You should try to relax yourself. So, this is when I bend down, is when I start to feel that tension. Can I relax my body as much as possible before I bend down? And then can I pause and breathe and relax my body as I come back up? That would be perhaps for a lot of people a much more effective way to retrain those tension patterns than to create tension as you're going in and out of the position. Okay, come on back and take that block or the floor, go out to the left. Now your thigh bone's going to rotate a little bit to the left and hinge forward here. Check on the lower belly. That's a big area of clenching, unconsciously for a lot of people, but a lot of people were taught to clench their lower belly through different forms of exercise. And there can be a purpose for it at times, but most of the time, a strong core comes from the position of your pelvis and the position of your rib cage, not holding your lower belly in. You would never tell a little kid to hold their lower belly in. That just actually messes with digestion, messes with the pressures in our core. Think hernias and all sorts of issues. Rotate your thigh bone a little bit to the left. So it's not something that you want to be doing. And it's interesting if you figure it out. I've already had several people tell me that they figured out, like, oh, I have this little sensation I feel here or here. And they try to relax when they start feeling it, and the sensation starts to dissolve. Now, not that that will happen for everyone, but definitely interesting. All right, and come on up, and let's choose one more height. So I was on the lowest height. I'm going to do the highest height. Extend your leg out. Thigh bone rolls a little bit to the right. Left ankle under the knee. And rotate forward from the pelvis without thrusting the ribs forward. If pelvis rotation is easy for you, chances are rib thrust is easier for you. So for you, if you have an easy pelvic rotation, ribs drop down and back. If your pelvis kind of still stays stuck back here, just keep trying to get the pelvis forward. All right, let's go across. And you have to really watch your body and observe it with loving kindness. But if you have a habit of, let's say you're feeling something, again, mid-back, lower back, and you come into this every time and your ribs are slightly thrusted forward, you could be irritating it. You think you're doing something here to take care of it, but you could be irritating it. Hence why our alignments are so helpful in the long run. And then relax. Is your buttocks clenching? Is the top of your thigh clenching? Are your shoulders clenching? All right, switch. Left foot out to the left. Left thigh bone rotates a little bit to the left. And relax, clenching before you start moving. And that could be a place where you stop, like, oh, I'm rotating my pelvis and all of a sudden I start clenching again. Stay there. All right, come on up and switch. Go across, thigh bone rotates a little to the left. Relax your belly, relax. Just notice right away when you start to move how things tighten up. It's not that muscles don't engage. Your muscles are engaging, but muscle engagement isn't like unless you're moving quickly, it's not like, oh, I got a grip. Like that gripping prevents moving easily, also prevents circulation from happening, which is what you really need to power your body. All right, come on up. You can slide that block anywhere out of the way. And then let's go around into another lunge. We're gonna do something a little different today. I just figured out on my own that this feels really good and it's a great step to where we're going. So let's start with the top of our foot down, top of the foot down. And you're just gonna move your thigh bone a little bit back. So you'll kind of roll up onto your toes and let your thigh bone go forward. So the motion is really happening in your thigh. It's just that your ankle is going along for the ride. And then next time your knee is right under your thigh, how about just move your thigh a little bit out and in. So before you were forward and back, and now you're out and in. And it's not a big motion at all. Just you're wiggling up around here, letting everything relax. All right, tuck your toes under. Now we'll do the same thing. You go forward a little bit, you roll onto the tips of your toes, you go back further, you go towards the ball of your foot. A little bit forward and a little bit back. And don't worry so much about the foot, it's just move the thigh bone a little bit back, a little bit forward. Okay, keep the thigh a little back and move in and out. Very small motion. It's not supposed to be big. Just think of like the width of your thigh. You're just moving back and forth, the width of your thigh. Oh, and then slide that leg forward, spin around to the other side, slide your knee back under your hip, come to the top of your foot, thigh bone goes back a little and relaxes forward. Into your breath. And just kind of pausing and feeling and relaxing. Oh, right there, I was big time clenching. All right, from there, a little bit of in and out. All right, tuck your toes under, a little bit of forward and back. And a lot of times the clenching starts with a small movement. So right when we start to move, things start clenching. So just see, can I relax? Can I move and relax a little bit more? Like a toddler, they are very relaxed when they move, unless they already had a tension pattern that often can happen during birth or even while in the womb. All right, a little side to side. Move at the thigh. Try to relax clenching. Takes a lot of focus. Should feel pretty good eventually. All right, slide that leg forward, spin back around to the front of the chair. Scoot your left hip to the center of the chair. Extend your right leg out. Turn your toes to point forward. Right palm face up. Nice long leg. Take the right arm up and over. Feel the side of the body and back down. So, if we are always moving quickly, how can you relax your clenching patterns? You can't. So sometimes go really slow. Is my shoulder clenching? Is my thigh clenching? Is my ankle clenching? All without losing alignment. So in other words, if you're like, your ankle's in 90 degrees and you're like, oh, that's clenching, let me relax it. That's not the that's not the relaxation we're talking about. We're keeping the shape and we're seeing, can anything relax a little bit more while we're here? Take 2 arms in the air. It's going to not let you move as far. Go slow. Tip over to the left and back up. Feel the waist. Is the waist clenching? All right, arms come down. Bring that leg. Oh, actually, sorry, we're not going to bring that leg in. Take that leg back out to the side. Now, your toes are pointing forward. How about rotating your thigh bone here? And it can be anywhere from your toes barely lift off the floor to you can keep turning and your toes go more up in the air. Go slow. Feel in your groin area, down your thigh area. Maybe your buttocks does a lot of the clenching here. Next time your foot turns up any amount, bend your knee, wiggle your foot in so your toes are pointing that way. This knee is going that way, your left knee is going straight ahead, and keep opening this right thigh as you take your right arm up and over side bend, and then maybe your hand or your elbow comes down as your left arm goes over. And we'll go side to side a few times. Right arm and left arm. And if you notice clenching in your body, like right here, I notice some clenching in my hip and waist, I'm going to stay there and I'm going to pause and I'm going to go through the range of motion a little bit slower. Okay, next time your right arm goes up and over, hold for a breath or two. Peeling away the layers of tension. And then come on up and go over to the other side. And one of the interesting things he talked about in the book was how the tension will move. So you'll start releasing tension in one area and all of a sudden it will start moving to another place in your body. And I tell you, of all my years of working with private clients, they tell me that all the time. It moved over here, it moved over here. And he says what's going on is for whatever reason, we're not acknowledging the tension pattern. It's like it's hard for us to accept. It could be for any reason, an emotional reason, a physical reason. So just being with it and observing it. Okay, next time you come up, extend that right leg again, but try to keep your toes more up, or if they just come up a little bit, that's okay. And keep lengthening that leg as you hinge forward. Breathing. Take your torso a little bit towards your right leg. Relaxing. Take your torso a little bit towards your left leg. Is there anything that can release and let go and relax? So it's a process. It's a compassionate, gentle, but very consistent and persistent process that you just have to keep observing the tension and let it. Because if you, whatever it is, if it's a big thing that stressed you out when you're little, like who knows what it was? Like you could have had like some kind of trauma that, doesn't seem like trauma, but your body processed it as trauma. Or you could know I had trauma as a child and you have this tension pattern. It's hard for your body to process everything at once. So that's why we're here, just pulling back those layers. And the nice thing is, come on up. Let that knee slide in, slide over to the other side. Extend your leg, toes point forward, circle your left arm over and up. The nice thing is that you don't have to release it all to get the benefit of feeling better physically, feeling better perhaps mentally. That comes in small doses. Same thing with meditation, is that you get benefits right away, no matter how small, which is very rewarding to even just practice in small doses. But you have to be consistent. That's the hardest part, consistency. Okay, come on up, 2 arms up, nice straight leg, ankle flex, a little bend over to the right and back up. Pausing, feeling, relaxing, clenching. Yes, muscles will engage. Maybe your lower belly tightens a little, but does it tighten a lot? Relax it. You don't have to consciously clench anything. Your body knows what to do. Okay, release your arms. How about a little rotation of that thigh bone? It's okay if when you first start, it's like this and down, like your toe that just lifts up a little bit, but try to feel the rotation happening at the top of the thigh bone. And progress will come. I mean, I just remember when I first started doing this, my thigh just didn't want to rotate very much. It was like something was stuck in there. And now I can still feel some stripes of tension in my inner thigh, but it's slowly getting just better and better over time. Okay, next time your toes point up any amount, lean over a little bit to the right, bend that knee, ankle under the knee, knee pointing that way. Take your left arm up and over, and then breathing either your left hand down or your left elbow down as your right arm goes up and over. Side to side here. And the more you pay attention to the tension and the clenching, the more you'll discover. Like you'll be like, oh, my hip has been feeling like really tight, and then all of a sudden you'll notice one day, oh, this stripe up my back is really tight. That might be what was pulling on my hip. Okay, next time your left arm goes up and over, we'll pause. Take a few breaths here. Where are you clenching? I was holding both of my thighs like tight. I just relax them. No need, my chair is supporting me. Go over to the other side. Relax, relax, relax. Your thighs, your buttocks muscles, your waist. Little tiny bit, littlest release. And come back up. Extend that leg. Maybe your toes are a little forward. Maybe you rotate them up in the air. Hinge forward, right, straight ahead. Breathing, lengthening the leg. Take your torso a little bit towards your left leg. Take your torso a little bit towards your right leg. All right, come back to center, come on up, let that knee bend, slide it in, walk yourself back to the center of the chair, spin around to a lunge. If you get any cramping, you just slide your leg forward, stretch it out, or massage it out a little bit. But when you're here, let's say that your body does not want to do this yet. What we're gonna do is lift and lower. Now keep in mind, as you lift and lower, if your knee pops forward, you're avoiding work in the back of the leg, which is what we're trying to do. So you want to keep your thigh back. But let's say that your body is just not really wanting to do this today or at all yet, then do this. Do that one that we did earlier. All right, slide that knee forward, spin around to the other side, knee goes back. And from there, you can do a little bit of this, or keep your thigh bone back and lift and lower. Front ribs relax down, torso facing straight ahead. All right, slide that leg forward, spin back around to the front of the chair, and then let's roll the ball under our foot. So, take your ball under the base of your big toe and do vertical stripes up and down right under your inner arch. I've been really into ball rolling recently. Maybe it's because summer is coming and we're going to be barefoot more. Oftentimes the boots we wear, especially if we wear things that surround our ankles, they make our feet tighter. In general, wearing shoes all the time tightens up our feet, so it's kind of like getting our feet ready for summer. Go to the center stripe of your foot. And I've been doing this a lot because I do it in like classes over and over again, and my goodness, what a difference it makes in my body. So it's not that you have to do it as much as I've been doing it, but if you're not in the habit yet of like rolling a ball under your foot once a week, get in that habit. Get in the habit of giving your feet some love and some exercise consistently. That's how you'll start to really notice the difference. When your feet are stronger, your balance becomes better, you feel more stable. It just affects the whole chain all the way up to your head. Okay, go to the outer edge of the foot and roll the ball up and down the outer edge of the foot. So not only over time, what will happen when you exercise your feet, and also when you turn your feet more straight rather than that turnout, you will actually notice the shape of your feet change, and they're becoming stronger to support the rest of your body more, because your foot takes the load of your body with every step. And it's amazing sometimes to see someone who's just been practicing feet straight, which is our first alignment cue, that when their feet were turned out, their ankle was always kind of collapsing to one side. And just by turning their foot straight, they start to build their inner arch a little bit, which goes all the way up into the core. Let's switch legs. So don't forget about your other foot, lining the edge of the foot up more straight. And if you have a big turnout, you just turn in little increments over time. Little increments. So start where you are and turn your foot in a little. You're going up and down your inner arch stripe. And I even, I'll do this for a week, and then all of a sudden one day I'll get a little cramping sensations in my feet, and it's like, oh, something else is waking up. Years and years of atrophy in the feet. Just years and years of atrophy. Good. Go to the center stripe of the foot. Roll up and down there. Go to the outer edge of the foot and roll up and down there. All right, let's tuck the top of one foot under, top of the foot stretch. Skip this if it bothers the knee. Try to spread all your toes of your left foot. Try to lift your big toe up and keep your little toes down. This is practice if it's not happening. If it's happening, it's exercise. Big toe down, little toes up. And then once again, try to spread all your toes. Switch. Tuck the top of the foot under, spread all your toes of your right foot. Try to keep little toes down, lift big toe up. How about big toe down, little toes up? And then relax and spread all the rest of the toes and release. Okay, step by step by step. Spin around to your lunge. 1. Just rock it forward and back gently. Feel the foot ground. 2. Lifts. 3. If your body feels okay with it, keep the lift. Move your thigh forward and back a couple times. Then pause with the lift and move your thigh in and out a couple times. Good. Small is good. Small is good. And slide that leg forward, extend, rotate from the pelvis, relax, clenching. This is why massage, self-massage becomes a great tool. Rotate your thigh bone out a little bit. Non-self-massage is also a great tool, but if you had to get a massage often enough to release your tension patterns, you would be broke. You would have to get multiple massages a day. And rotate your thigh bone in. That's why the best plan is lots of things all together. Walking, moving like this, self-massage, maybe if you can, massage a massage. Acupuncture is another tool that's really good for tension. Come on up, slide that leg back, spin around to the other side, slide your knee back. Either you're doing the little slow rock, or you're working on the lift and lower, or you're keeping your knee lifted and going a little forward and back, and a little forward and back. Let the knee hang right under the hip, a little out, a little in. Very small. Can you relax clenching while you do this? A little out, a little in. Good, and then slide that leg forward, extend, rotate from the pelvis. Front of the thigh was clenching there, I let it go. Rotate your thigh bone one way, relax around your buttocks, your waist. Rotate your thigh bone the other way. Can your inner thigh relax a little bit more, outer hip area? And then back to center and bend that knee, spin around to the front of the chair, push down to come up to stand, come around to the back of your chair, walk back, 2 straight arms and 2 straight legs, back your hips up, belly relaxes, tailbone in the air. Look at my spine. Do you see how my lower back is actually rounded? Come up a little, relax the belly a little, let the tailbone go a little bit higher into the air. And then here's a big one. Since we practice this all the time on our kitchen counters, what am I clenching? What am I relaxing? Not only in the pose, but how about as you're getting into the pose? Relax, 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 relax. Relax, 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 relax. Definitely clenching different things here. See, we have the tool of our knees lifting up and down for the front of our thighs. We don't have a tool for all the parts of our body. Push down through the back of the legs. Can you relax, 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 relax as you come up? And 1 foot at a time, lifting the heels up off the ground, pressing equally through the balls of the feet. And then we're going to grab whatever we're using for a calf stretch, put it under the ball of your right foot. Put the ball of your foot up, your heel down. You might start back here and step your foot forward and back. You're pushing down through your outer right hip so that your swing through can be smooth. So our goal, yes, over time, is to step our left foot more forward without our right heel coming up, without our right knee bending, without us clenching and tensing up. So you can play with it. Oh, I can step my foot even, or maybe not yet. Maybe not yet. The body likes slow adaptation, and then I can go a little more forward. Can I stay relaxed? There, oh, most of the way. And then you can push your limit. You can really step the foot forward. No way am I relaxing. I have a lot of unclenching to do, so I'm not going to step quite that far forward. I'm going to find a comfortable range of motion and go forward and back there. Remember, a lot of work happening in the standing leg hip, pushing down. All right, turn around. Ball of the left foot up, heel down. And it's perfectly okay to start back and just step your foot a little bit forward and back there. Or just even stay in the calf stretch at first and relax clenching. And then over time you can play with, can my heels stay down? Can my legs stay straight? Now you know if you step forward and you start losing your balance, then you're really clenching up. Boy, this left hip sure wants to clench up, my buttocks and my hip on the left side. It's like I have to move very carefully for it not to do it, but it feels really good. So I imagine that over time it would just make my body feel better and better to learn how to move in this way. All right, step off of there. You can slide that out of the way. Grab your ball and let's roll standing. And if standing is not feeling good, you can sit back down, and we're just doing another round up and down the inner arch of your foot, your plantar fascia from the base of your big toe to the front of your heel. And then you're just going to pause anywhere along the inner stripe of your foot. And you might just straighten your leg and sink in. That is nice. There's pressure there. Or you can give a little lift and lower to your left heel a couple times. Go to the center of the foot. Roll up and down a few times there. Is anything clenching up? Now, if we're out here, we want to come in and try to unclench. We don't want to lose our alignment. If our hips are forward, we're backing our hips up and trying to unclench. Stay anywhere under the center of your foot. If it's painful, just move the ball slightly. Don't stay where there's pain. Putting it next to something that's tender will be better for bringing circulation in. And then if it's really tender already, why lift your heel up? But you can lift and lower your heel, just putting a little more pressure. All right, go up and down the outer edge of your foot. And then stay, and maybe lift and lower. All right, switch feet up and down the inner arch stripe of your plantar fascia. Stay at any spot. You can sometimes be in the front of the, like right in front of the heel, the center of the foot. You can stay under the big toe ball of the foot. All are nice. We'll start maybe pulling this in more often, so sometimes you could stay at different areas. Maybe lift and lower your left heel. And roll up and down the center stripe of your foot. And then pause anywhere in that center stripe. And then roll the outer edge of your foot. Pause anywhere in that stripe. All right, and you can roll that ball out of the way. Come over to the back of your chair, cross your right ankle behind your left ankle, push your hips back so they're right over your heels. Relax, clenching. Cross your left ankle behind your right ankle, push your hips back over your heels. You're relaxing, clenching while you're there. You're relaxing, clenching in the way there. Step your feet back to hip distance and go a little bit wider. Back your hips up over your heels. Wiggle your feet another step wider. Back your weight up over your heels. All right, your feet are nice and wide now. Your chair is in front of you so that you can kind of relax your upper body. You're going to bend your right knee, sliding your hips back. Bend your left knee. Pause so that you can relax through the motion. Now, for most people, when we do this, our knee likes to lead the way. Try to lead the way with your buttocks going back as you bend side to side. Can that shin slide back a little bit more? And then eventually, can it stay back as you go side to side? Can you relax clenching around your thigh muscles? Think about it. If one thigh muscle is always clenching, your thighs correct around your knee. They pull your kneecap to one side or the other, depending on what side is tighter. Then you're always feeling knee issues in one side or the other. So you want to find those areas that are clenching. If you're feeling discomfort in any of your joints, there's likely things that are clenching. So it's a game to try to find them. It's a puzzle. Okay, come back to center. Turn your feet out a little bit. Squat down. If your knees go past your ankles, either take your feet wider or don't bend down so far. And come up slow. Now, as you come up and you straighten all the way, try not to let this happen, the snap straight. So you do want to straighten all the way, but it's a straighten and slow. And then can you completely relax clenching? And you might notice it happens more on one side than the other. All right, bend down, hold. Open your arms out to the side. Twist your belly button to your right. And twist your belly button to the left. Relax. Come back to center. press up slow. Turn your feet back to straight, hinge forward to the chair without bending either knee. Hip shift a little to the right, hip shift a little to the left. Now, if you have a lot of or hip tension, you're going to feel with your feet wide that your hips don't even want to move side to side with your legs straight. You're just trying to get the little bit of motion in there. Let's say you're like me and your hips go very easily. And interestingly enough, this is one of the tightest parts of my body. But I have learned over time, or my body is of the type that I can easily move with connective tissue. So if you move very easily here, go really slow as you go side to side. And keep playing with the releasing of deep tensions as you go side to side. Go to the right and hold. Belly relaxes. Go to the left and hold. Buttocks muscles relax. Sometimes over and over and over again. Come back to center, come up, feet turn out to the side again, and we squat down and come up slow. And squat down and come up slow. Buttocks is always a good area to pay attention to because it's large and it guides a lot of the other areas. Like if you discover, oh, I'm always clenching on one side. Squat down, hold. Right arm goes over, side bend. Is there anything that can relax that's holding on to extra tension without losing the shape? Left arm goes up and over, side bend. Breathing here. Good. Come back to center. Press yourself up. Turn your feet in. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Step over to a wall. On the wall, wrists face down. Wrists face down in line with your body, a little lower than your shoulder. So not up here, a little lower than your shoulder. Arms straight. Maybe your elbow pit rotates up to the ceiling, but without your hand moving. So can you rotate this part of your arm with your fingers pointing down? And then you can just stay there, or you can turn your chest a little bit away from the wall. Or is anything in your legs clenching? But keep in mind, if you're clenching, we don't want, or all of a sudden we let go of clenching and our ankles roll in a lot. So we're keeping things centered, but also letting go of clenching. So from there, flip your wrists the other way, up, hand on the wall, thumbs spread out. So it's this perfect amount of tension because you need tension. You need tension to move around. That's how your body stays upright. If you didn't have any tension, but where is the extra tension? That's what we're looking for, the extra tension. All right, turn around, wrist flips down, thumb out to the side. And with our alignment, we can play with, is our hips forward, bring them back, hips over heels. Is our pelvis untucking or tucking under? Find neutral. And from there, try to relax clenching. And then flip your hand up, a little lower than your shoulder, thumb spreads out. And maybe turn your chest. And unwind, and then come on to your chair, walk back, sit back, sliding the shins back, watching if the thighs drop in or out, face looks straight down at the floor, press up through your feet, come on and have a seat nice and slowly, sit down in your chair. Take your time. How much are you clenching on the way down? Ooh. All right, ankles under the knees, reach your right arm in front of you, hold on, gently pull across the body, And drop your left ear to your left shoulder and nice and slowly move your head forward and back. Slowly bring your head up, turn and look over your left shoulder, and nice and slowly nod your head up and down. Is there anything that can relax a little more around your shoulders, around your neck? Switch. Left arm goes across, pull on the upper arm. Right ear slowly goes over to right shoulder. So this is an example of that. For years when I did this stretch, this happened. It's like my neck was pulling my shoulder up. Keep your shoulder relaxed. Slowly take your ear over. If it doesn't move very much, stay where you are. Be where you are. Head nods forward and back a little bit. Are you clenching your leg muscles? Are you clenching your inner thighs? Are you clenching your belly? Bring your head up nice and slowly. Turn and look to the right. Nod your head yes there. Are you holding tension deep in your feet muscles? Is your hand clenching? Mine was. And bring your head back and lengthen your legs and hinge forward nice and slow. Breathing. Little massage, self-massage, one of our tools. And then sit all the way back in your chair for your final pose, Savasana. Breathing and being with your body, with your breath. Well, that's not going to work. Stay tuned into your body and your breath. Okay, we're going to go through the body and give ourselves some gratitude. Notice if resistance comes up. Maybe you have a problem in that area of the body. Still try to be thankful for it. It is really trying to do the best it can for you. In gratitude for your toes. In gratitude for your feet. In gratitude for your ankles. In gratitude for your knees. In gratitude for your hips. In gratitude for your spine from the base all the way up, the lower back, the mid back, the upper back, to the neck. In gratitude for our rib cage and our breath. In gratitude for our fingers. In gratitude for our hands. In gratitude for our wrist. In gratitude for our elbows. in gratitude for our shoulders, in gratitude for our skull and all the intricacies, bringing our hands to heart center, in gratitude for this day. Namaste.